This is 37th Street Radio and TV, and of course we are out here hooking up with the best of the best interviews. And today we have a special guest. Please just introduce yourself.
Yo, what it do, what it does. My name is Shem Muikia. I'm a lot of things, but basically I'm a video content creator. I work for Pulse Life Kenya, but yeah, let's just say I'm a video content creator. I think that's the best way I can describe myself.
I want to know, like, how did your journey in media start? Is it, did the interest grow back in school, or how was it?
I don't know if I can say it started back in school, but I was always interested in just like media in general, TV, movies, all that kind of stuff. So like, when I was younger, I kind of always wanted to be on TV. Maybe one day I'll make it to the actual TV. But so my interest basically started when I was younger. And then my journey started much later. Like, because I also I studied communications when I was in university because I knew that was one of the ways that I was going to do it. But before that, I was also doing like a video production course somewhere in some place called Shangtao. So basically, I was always just looking for a way to get myself either in front of or behind the camera, which is what I do right now. And then, yeah, so after I finished school is when now I got an internship at this place called Pulse Life that makes like digital content and videos. And I think that's where my journey started. And I'm still currently on that journey, actually.
You talked about going to Shangtao, and then you proceeded to uni. So I just want to know, why did you make that decision? Why didn't you just go to uni and study communication straight away? Like, how did you make that decision?
Well, for starters, to be honest, it was about keeping myself busy, because you see, like when you finish school, before you've gotten the opportunity to like join university, like results and everything, and like applying and registering, I was looking for a way to keep myself busy. So people were doing many different things at that time. Like, you know, when we had just finished high school and stuff like that, people were taking computer courses, people were taking, I don't know what. So I didn't feel like doing any of those things. So I went to Shangtao because they didn't need like so much from me as a person. Like actually, they didn't need my results slip. They didn't need so much. So I joined that place because yeah, I needed a way to keep myself busy, and I needed to do something that I find interesting, because I can't do something I don't find interesting.
So right now you have, of course, you studied, and then now you have been practicing for quite a while. I usually like asking guys this question: from where you are sitting right now, if somebody comes to you for advice, can you tell them to go to school to study and get a degree? Or if that person maybe has a little money, they can invest in a camera, a microphone, can you just tell them to start and learn on the job using YouTube and these other platforms? Or can you just advise them you must go to school?
I think sometimes it depends, but I'm very much for the idea of going to school, because if you can, especially like if your folks can afford it, or if you can afford it, there's always something that you can learn from school. You can even do like a combination. If you have that money on the side, you can pick up like your camera and something like that and start working on it. But there's always a big advantage to actually being trained by other professionals, you know. So even if it's not university specifically, even if it's just like a training course or something like that, I'm very much for the idea of taking up like school and learning.
So after school, what was your first opportunity?
My first opportunity actually is surprisingly enough where I still am, because I started out as an intern doing not even camera work specifically, just busy work as an intern. And then now, after I was able to like prove myself to the company, they now kept me on, and I've been a video presenter, and now I'm a video producer. So I've actually just been where I am, although I've done a few things still on the side here and there before. But my main big opportunity was this opportunity that I have with Pulse, where I work.
Now, you know, when people go, you have that dream, maybe I want to work here. There are people who they have usually made up their mind that, and they are fixated on, maybe I want to work in this media house. So were you that type, or were you just the type whereby let any opportunity come, I will grab it? Sorry, I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, can you repeat your question for me again? I think there's something up with my audio there.
Okay, so I was asking, like, when you are in school, were you those students who are, of course, maybe you had a dream of working in a certain media house. So were you that type where your mind was fixated on, I just want to work in this media house, or were you the type whereby you just, any opportunity, you will grab it?
No, I think I was more the type of looking for the opportunity that would find me. You know what I'm saying? I believe in like listening to what the world is telling you. So I didn't really have a T. I need to work there. I need to work there. I need to work there. I just knew I wanted to be in the industry. So I was waiting for the opportunity that would find me, because it's just the way things work in my mind. You know, you just make your way through the channels that you find and the channels that find you.
You have done a couple of interviews. I just want to know you can name some of the best interviews that maybe you had a very good experience. They are memorable to you.
Most memorable. I think my most memorable ones, for starters, would be when I interviewed Nameless and Wahoo. I think that was either last year or the year before that. When they were about to come out with their show and everything like that. So for me, just because I grew up listening to like their music, it was such an amazing experience. And they're such a great couple of people. You know, as an interviewer, sometimes the audience might not see, but there's always like how you feel internally about like how a conversation is going. And I feel like the conversation was flowing quite well. So that was a big moment for me as a person. I think the other one, Sakode, all the way from Ghana. He had come to do some stuff in Kenya, and we got a chance to interview him. I think that was really, really dope. And I think the last one that I can say is for sure the year when, at that time, I think I had even just started working as a video presenter and an interviewer. And then I got a chance to interview Rick Ross when he had come to do his concert here in Kenya. It was so amazing, you know. It was so nice to just meet like that caliber of a person, having just like started doing what you're doing. You know, I was overwhelmed, but I think it still came through, you know, and his producer and his manager was also like, hey, man, good job. So I think those are the ones that stand out the most for me.
I want to know how you deal with difficult guests who maybe show you an attitude. How do you deal with that?
To be honest, it's just, I've never really had a very difficult guest, but I think as a presenter or an interviewer, you have to know how to like, kusoma msema, lazima uweze kusoma situation. If you see things are getting difficult like this in one way, or someone is uncomfortable with the question, if they're being a bit of attitude like this, maybe you try bring in some jokes kidogo, just to make someone maybe like ease the tension. But personally, I've never had a very negative experience. I've never had really much of a negative experience. But it's about just you as an individual, you have to be very flexible. Even if you had a certain set of questions and those questions are not working, you either like start switching the questions up, or you even harakisha and finish mapema. You know, it's like, it's not like luckily I work in a digital platform, so it's not like TV where the slot has been set from, if it's from 7, it has to end at 8. So like if you see things are not getting comfortable, you just do your best to give it a transition to end, even if it's kuimaliza mapema, you know. So I think that's the way. Just be flexible, always be ready, like to switch it up, or not to be so serious sometimes.
And then there was a time you were also going to the streets. So I just want to know the challenges, or maybe the fun that usually happens when you are in the streets interviewing people live.
Okay. So the street is a very interesting place, man, first of all, because like, you know, you never really know what to expect with people, because like, first of all, people are always very curious when they see a camera, but at the same time, they don't really want to talk to you. So one of the challenges is like learning to take rejection from people in general, because unajua unakuja kuongelesha msee anakuambia wewe cheki toka hapa, you know. So one of the challenges is definitely learning how to deal with rejection. Like, you know, you'll approach like 5 guys, and out of the 5 guys, maybe one person will talk to you. So that's maybe part of the challenges. The part of the fun is just that, and yeah, you get to interact with a lot of different people from all walks of life. And sometimes people have views that you're not even expecting. And your Kenyans are very funny. So it's also always an experience just being outside, because you, even if it's not the person who was on camera, someone in the background, there's always something funny happening on all the streets.
For you, you know, you work in a space whereby it's in the social media. I just want to know about when you hear guys talking about traditional media is dead and now the social media is taking off, YouTube, Spotify. Like, where are you when it comes to this discussion? What's your stand on this discussion?
My stand on this discussion is, I don't know if I would say traditional media is dead, but I would say the digital media is definitely taking over. Because if you look at even all these other places, like even if it's Citizen, Nation, Standard, all of them have now developed a very big digital presence. Like they are posting on social media, they are making small videos and posting them. Everyone is moving to the digital space because that's where it's at. So I don't know if I would say traditional media is dead, because there's still a lot of people who depend entirely on traditional media to receive their news. But there's still now that element of even those people of traditional media knowing that there's a transition that's happening where majority of what is happening and how people consume their content is happening on digital, because like we're always on our phones. That's a fact, you know. So I don't know if I'd say traditional media is dead, but I'd say digital is definitely taking over.
So for you, let me ask you, if you get an opportunity to work these mainstream TV stations, can you take it compared to, you see how the rules they have, the dressing code? If you are doing an interview, you have to keep time. But now for you, you are just in a place where it's not that regulated. If a guest wants to open up, you can even do a 1-hour interview. So when you look at the flexibilities that you have, and even me, I have, do you really want to work for the mainstream media?
It would depend on the opportunity for growth that I'm being presented with when I'm at that place. Because you see, even where I work, as much as it's a bit more freestyle, bado tuko na ile time limit. Like if the interview is supposed to start at 3, it's supposed to start at 3. So we still have to be able to, like, we still have to be punctual at least. So there's that. Dress code mahali hapo ndio, that's my biggest issue would be dress code. No, I like to be free with my dress. But like if they're giving me an opportunity where I can learn something or I can grow myself as an individual, I wouldn't mind working in a mainstream media house, because maybe I can also bring them something new. I can show them something a little bit different.
So do you get turned down by artists for interviews?
Yeah, Maze, yeah, for sure. Although luckily enough these days, I don't chase the celebrities and stuff like that myself, because we're a team. So there's a team that's responsible for now reaching out to the artists and stuff like that to see if they secure interviews. But back in the day, it was also me. We all contribute, and yeah, of course, like sometimes we get turned down. Like I'm telling you, this job has taught me that rejection you happen koi life kama kawa. So because you can't also force someone. You ask someone, they say no, you can't force them. So maze, saa zingine tunakula blue ticks mbaya.
And then when you have a how do you let's say create chemistry so that when you are doing the episode, like for the viewer, it looks like it's authentic? How do you create chemistry with maybe somebody who you have been paired with?
You mean like when I have a co-host, or when I'm interviewing a celebrity, an artist?
When you have a co-host.
When I have a co-host. I think it comes gradually, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? It comes a bit gradually. The first show like this, like that, your chemistry might not be vibing, but like gradually as you get used to how the other person is when you guys are on air, unaenda tu ukizoea. And then also like for me now with my co-hosts and the co-hosts that I've had, we work in the same space. So we share the same space often. So we interact, we talk, we know each other somehow, you know. So that's also an advantage, being able to interact with the person you're with outside of that space, because it helps you it helps you know who they are as a person, and knowing how someone is as a person helps you know how to carry yourself when you guys are having a conversation, because when you have a co-host, sometimes there needs to be like banter between you two. So you need to be able to know what this person can be able to talk about. You can't just, not everyone has the same kind of banter. So unaenda tu kizoea msee, just like the way you make friends. It's like making a friend.
How long does it take to prepare for a show? Are you in a level where you can just go in and prepare and get questions from the top of your head, or do you have to prepare? And how do you prepare?
Personally, I prefer to prepare. If worst comes to worst, lazima zitoke off the top of my head. But personally, preparation is like very important. So like if it's an artist who you're going to interview or a celebrity or something of the sort, you have to do like your research about this person. Like personally, I do my research obviously online. I'll maybe stalk you on social media to see what you've been talking about or what you're interested in, so that I'm not asking questions that are too generic. Saa zingine unauliza tu mse, how long have you been doing this in music? When did you start liking music? It's like sometimes this, especially like celebrities who have gone, like especially if someone is like on a media tour, like this guy's, okay, if it's a media tour, you have to be a bit more specific. But in general, I feel like these guys have answered so many of those questions that you need to do like your research, go online, find out about them a little bit, and then now you can ask them some questions. So like research too. Just I look at even some articles, what people are saying about you in the media currently, what you are currently posting and saying about life on social media. And then I put it all together. And then I also like to throw in random questions. Like, to be honest, questions they have no purpose. They're not taking us anywhere. I'll ask you, like, if you are a girl for 14 hours, just random stuff, just to throw the person off. Because sometimes when you bring in that lightheartedness and not seriousness, it helps that person loosen up. Cheka kidogo. Then by the time you're bringing them a serious question, they've loosened up, so they're able to open up to you.
So as we are finishing, most important lesson learned over time?
Most important lesson that I've learned. I think the most important thing I've learned over time is that in life, even if you make a mistake somewhere, even if you feel like you've not really done what you needed to do the right way, it's always an opportunity for you to learn something. Because like, for example, if you were trying to work on something and it didn't come out how you wanted, at least for the next time you try, you know that you're not going to do it like that. You're going to try something different. So I think by just this element of sometimes, you give yourself a lot of pressure. So I think that's what I've learned, that sometimes you need to be a bit kind to yourself and know that even when you've made a mistake somewhere, it's an opportunity for you to learn something.
For guys who are starting out, to them.
My advice for guys who are starting out, well, for starters, just start. At first, I remember you had asked me that thing for school or nini. For starters, for now, just start, because the way I said, digital media is taking over. So even if you're not yet professionally trained, there's a lot of platforms for you to put yourself out there on. You can post on TikTok, you can post on Instagram, you can post somewhere, and it's about experience. You learn through experience. So for starters, just start. And then the second thing is just always be curious, always be trying to learn something, like, from somebody, from somewhere, school of YouTube, wherever. Just always be very curious.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, man. Thank you so much, bro.